Hi, my name is Daniela, and I'm coming to share about the major astrological transits. I've been trying to record these videos since the final of April month, but it has been very challenging to share it because there's always something happening. I've tried already many times to record it, but it is what it is. I will record now, today, despite of anything. So yeah, before I will continue to the theme with the theme of this video, I want to remind that we are much more than our sun sign, like all of us know. All of the 12 signs are within us, has each of us is in all of the 12 signs of the zodiac. Somewhere in our astrological charts, all of these 12 zodiac signs are projected. I can help to understand better about this as how the astrological transits can influence and do influence each astrological individual chart. So in this video I will share about the lunation and Aries season. Despite of Aries season already passed through, it contains very important transits that will prevail much more time. And what I do, I study many astrologic sources, and I organize all of the information and I channel in a way that we can understand in a more simpler way. So Aries Lunation started on 8th of April with a total solar eclipse. And Aries archetype always bring new energies, beginnings, changes. And he brought us these questions around how do you utilize your beginning energy? What makes you feel strong and powerful? We will need to really know about who we are and what we want in the next times. But we need to have these empowering states in a healthy manner. We had a very strong stellium in Aries sign, and stellium is many energies, planets, asteroids, virtual points in one sign. And we had the Sun, Mercury, Venus, the North Node, and Chíron in Aries. And with this strong Aries stellium, it speaks a lot about our power of action. But with the solar eclipse, with the total solar eclipse in Aries, we had at this time, the same time that the luminaries, the sun, the moon, did this new cycle, started this new cycle, they also did a conjunction with Chíron, this asteroid that is founded in between Saturn and Uranus. Saturn is the planet of limits, boundaries, is the last planet that we can see at the naked eye from the Earth. And Uranus is like the planet of change that manifests the energies in the physical forms, Saturn. And is the first planet that we see from the telescope. And Chíron is founded between these two states of consciousness. We are opening to new parts of ourselves that we are ready to fully embrace and heal. Things that we are ready to integrate and clear out now. letting go, decluttering. Chíron, at the end of the year, will make a retrogradation in Aries. And as the planets are more distant from the sun, they take more time to make a full circle, a full completion in the sun. And the same happen with the signs. They take much more time in each sign. As the planet is more far from the sun, it takes more years or more time in one sign, and therefore to complete a full circle around the sun. And Chíron, at the end of the year, will make this retrogradation, and retrogradation is just a perspective from the Earth. It doesn't mean that actually the planets or asteroids or virtual points are actually moving back, but it's not true. It's only a perspective. And at the end of the year, Chíron in Aries will make its retrogradation from the Earth point of view, and he will go back to 90 degrees of Aries, and 90 degrees was the point of the total solar eclipse in Aries on 8th of April. Part of a healing journey, or something we've been moving through or focused on. And still speaking about the sun and the moon during the total solar eclipse. The moon is our most subjective side, and the moon passed through the sun, between the earth and the sun, revealing to the sun its occult part. Because when the moon goes around the earth, is always with the same side turned to the earth. So when the moon was passing through the earth, between the earth and the sun, it revealed to the sun its back, its occult part. The strength of the feminine, of emotions and affections, upon our most objective and mental sides, the sun. The yin and the yang, the return of our most internal presence. To really become aware of this understanding. With this solar eclipse, the moon brought us a major reflection about our pasts, about our histories, experiences, and origins, rescuing situations and acknowledgements. To understand that things that we took as certain can go through major transformations, allowing that new senses come through. Reflecting as well about the impacts that they have in our relationships, each one with its own processes. And every time that we have an eclipse, actually we have two eclipses. So we have the solar eclipse on 8th of April, but we also have a lunar eclipse on 25th of March. And we have the eclipses are about the nodes, the lunar nodes. And we have the north node in Aries and the south node in Libra. They are polar but complementary signs. And with this lunar eclipse, it brought us the opportunity of revelation about what needs to change, what is outgrown, what we are moving away from, and liberating through our connections, relationships, and partnerships. A cycle of this axis between North Node Aries and South Node Libra that began on October of last year, 2023, and completes on March 2025, next year. And the North Node in Aries is ruled by Mars, while on the other side, the South Node is in Libra, which is ruled by Venus, I spoke a lot about this in the last video. And the nodes are peaks of energy that always bring us this realization about what do we need to liberate or adjust. And with this, especially with this solar eclipse, with the moon passing through the hearts and the sun, revealing to the sun her occult parts, because the moon is more about the feminine and the sun more about the masculine that all of us have. It brought us these questions about what do nourish us? How can we take care of ourselves within the new values and circumstances? What is the quality of relationship with ourselves? Who we are becoming? We need to understand about the importance of nourishment, the moon. Our most maternal sides within us, within each of us. For our own structure as human beings, but as well for the structure of society. With this stellium in Aries, we have this big activation of the root chakra energies. The way to show up in the world as primal energies, the lower, less evolved characteristics of Aries, they are related to sexual energies, impulsivity, violence, arrogance, egoism, or intolerance, while the higher are self-improvement, independence, dynamism, self-affirmation, living in the present, pioneerism, and being able to collaborate with others, Libra, sharing different ideas. But mainly knowing that each one of us is unique, being able to confidently stand in that, the higher level of self-knowingness that isn't about comparison, but more about how we truly know about love, about accepting ourselves as we are, and using that to navigate in our own journeys, trusting more from within. Because first, it always starts from within. But in order to get there, we've got to do a lot of deprogramming, deconditioning, how we have to step back and ask ourselves, is this in alignment for me? To ask ourselves about everything. Is this in alignment for me? Is this correct for me? Does this do me any good? Outside of not only cultural programming, but also from the pressure we get from our own minds, as well as the expectations we have from ourselves and others. Aries rules the head, the face, the brain, and the nervous system. It speaks a lot about the immediatism, about everything. Aries always wants things very fast. He wants things the way and only that Aries wants, and that's it. It needs to be quick. But with this season, it brought us this opportunity of allowing something within our Aries self-identity, wherever Aries falls in our individual chart, of the mantra that Harry speaks about is the I am, to be cleared out, released. An important reset of consciousness, a clearing out of codes, allowing us to see what we no longer need to embody and carry within us. The moon's strength showing us how we can continue to heave and flow with the tides of the change, with our own growth to what we are meant to experience in this lifetime that is always evolving and changing, seeing ourselves in a new light, working more with the wisdom of our own body consciousness, Taurus, transmuting fears, sense of guilt, working through our own shadows, the moon, revealing to the sun our most objective and mental sides, her occult parts. With the Aries stellium, it's all about taking action, initiating something. But all these Aries energies have been ruled in this Aries season that was so important. They have been ruled by Mars. Mars rules Aries. And Mars has been in Pisces during Aries season. A season that was meant to be more spiritual and elevated, bringing more of our soul's wisdom into our sense of self, Aries. We've been meant to sit with something, to reflect and contemplate what we've been learning about our actions, what we've been reflecting about what we want to do and don't want to do any longer, making sure we are not backtracking into a karmic loop. A time period to learn to get comfortable in the discomfort. And that's how we reprogram ourselves, allowing new codes, new levels of consciousness to rise up within, where we will need to take action from. We've been having not only a stellium in Aries during Aries season, but also a stellium in Pisces with Mars, Saturn and Neptune. And with this stellium in Pisces with Mars, Saturn and Neptune, they asked to us about where have been our resistances. An opportunity to understand from a more elevated side about our own strength and potential to break from our own limitations, to uncover where are our own traps about our own consciousness, unconsciousness, of our own fears, insecurities, escapes from reality and self-sabotages, where perhaps we've been feeling a weighing down, connecting us to previous experiences that we are more aware now, unraveling them, so that we can take off and get going. A time of stillness, a resisting, and a challenge to receive the spiritual messages that the universe have been bringing to us. And a process of humbleness that we are having, permanent shifts, closures, a greater self-confidence, compassion and peace of mind, a clearing out and a tuning into our body's messages and needs, where we need to be more supportive of ourselves with kindness and gentleness and vulnerability as well, to soft parts of ourselves that our ego would push away, where there's hurts, but also where beautiful opportunities lies ahead. And this is also a lesson of Chíron to us. And during the solar eclipse in Aries, Mars did a conjunction to Saturn in Pisces, a transit also supporting our self-improvements, meant for us to sit with Saturn and understand what's going on in the energetics. They speak about something that we've been perhaps holding or carrying from other lifetimes, or even from our own family lineage, things that were parts of the survival at that time, instead deeply integrated in our DNA, but that now can be causing us more suffering than actually allowing us to evolve and open up, where we might just be allowing our egos and minds to overload our own sense of self-identity, Aries, where we've just been wrestling with ourselves. Saturn comes in and drives us to take responsibility of our own shadows, of our own shadow, ego, self, and what we've been learning so far. Pisces reminds us that we are not only about matter, that we are always working for the spirits, for something much greater. Saturn will be in Pisces till 2025, and Saturn is like it's like an inspector, and Saturn in Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac, it's like coming to ask and evaluating us if we are connected to our own minds, body, and spirits. If what we say, what we think, and what we feel is aligned. And Saturn in Pisces will be keep inspecting us with that till the next year. And it asks us, what lights up your soul? What are you really passionate and excited about? Soul-led path, choices, decisions, and desires that we've been having, reflecting about, and this was a very strong theme from the end of April and the beginning of May, and it brought us this opportunity to really contemplate about what we are really aligned with, and if is that resonating with our own truth, with our own identity, Aries, what energies we've been carrying, not only from this lifetime, maybe even from other lifetimes that we are not even conscious about, but with these transits, especially since February, we've been having this opportunity to gain more awareness about it and work on it. Maybe if don't resonate, to liberate it, to adjust, Aries, our own choices, our own decisions, so that we can keep going with what truly is aligned with our soul. big reflections on our life, what we've built so far, and moving forward with those choices, reflections, and commitments. This stellium in Pisces with Saturn, Mars, Neptune was a very interesting dichotomy between a sense of feeling overwhelmed that's weighing down, but at the same time giving us the deep spiritual insights, making sure we are traveling with the wisdom and the higher understanding of what we are completing. An energy that is going to be influential into early of 2026, because Neptune will keep being in Pisces, and now we have the North Node in Aries, but from the next year we will have the North Node in Pisces, bringing an opportunity to honor how far we've came, as what we've been closing out and learned along the way. Understanding that is only with these acknowledgements that we can go higher. An overloop of energy that might feel very confusing, that might have felt, especially since February, very confusing, where we need to be very graceful, have more compassion, and being more kind to ourselves, alleviating any pressure to figure it out, everything right now, as Aries really likes to do. And we had, during Aries season and Aries Lunation, Mercury in retrogradation in Aries. And Mercury started its retrogradation from 2 of April till 25th of April. His pre-shadow started off on 90 of March, where Mercury in direct mode started to walk from by the degrees, where from 2 of April started to turn back. And his post-shadow, it ended in 13 of May, very earlier. And post-shadow is the same degrees that Mercury did its retrogradation. But the most interesting thing, not only about Mercury during its retrogradation in Aries, most of all the Aries season, Mercury did a conjunction 3 times with Chíron in direct modes on March 20th, in retrogradation on April 17th, and again in direct modes on May 7th. So perfectly on time, helping us with all these retrogradations, reintegrations, Mercury retrograde, to relax, to reconsider, to redefine priorities. A gift of energy with this retrogradation, supporting this bigger cycle that we've been moving through, ensuring that we are in alignment with our intentions. How can we be more responsible with our choices? A push to reconsider how we express our individuality and pursue our goals with renewed clarity and courage. An intention slowing down of the universe during Aries season. That's not so fun, but very interesting. Aspecting 3 times with Chíron, the wounded healer, to perhaps gain new perspectives that are more empowering based on what we've been healing and understanding. Chíron wants us to support our soul's messages, what we need and is good for us, making sure we don't repeat more suffering patterns to others and ourselves. Mercury, the messenger of the gods in mythology, brought us this profound review of what isn't good in our choices and paths, so that we can adjust to what we really want and aim to our lives, for our lives. And I can give my example between this time and I was trying to record this video so many times, but at the same time I was having a lot of distractions, and I really felt like the universe keep asking me like, what is really important for you? And I was keep trying to record the video, and many things were always happening, and I was getting so frustrated with so much anxiety, and always like not giving up, but thinking it's not the right time, so I will surrender and take care of me, of my body. But an important lesson, I think, it is that when we really do want something, we don't give up. We can have a stop, like these transits were actually asking us to do, to stop and to relax, to reconsider, to reflect about what is really in alignment with our own identity, with our own soul, with what we really want, and not allowing any distractions to block us, or to to have fear about something, or we need to keep pushing forwards, but not too much, always taking care of ourselves first. That's always more important. Liberation of some kind, a long-term shedding for the last 4 or 5 months, a major deep root clearing, all for the liberation of the I am, the mantra of Aries, first sign of the zodiac, the strength of nature, the zodiac locomotive, allowing our soul signature, who we really are, to emerge, not feeling imprisoned or suppressed, using these reflection points to catapult us from the past into the future, envisioning a life that supports us on being free and creative, on how we care for ourselves and Mother Earth. And okay. Sorry. Okay, so I will repeat this last part that I wrote. Envisioning a life that supports us on being free and creative, on how we care for ourselves and Mother Earth. Jupiter did a conjunction with Uranus on 20 of April, a conjunction in Taurus. This energy will be most predominant till the middle of June, more or less. And this conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, both planets initiating a new cycle, it might felt for all of us like a third eclipse. And this transit most probably is the most important of the year. Jupiter and Uranus conjunct every 13-14 years. In Taurus, every 84 years. The last time they conjuncted in Taurus was in 1941, during the World War II, where the resources were very unpredictable and unsteady. The economics were shifting and changing. The financial markets were on a roller coaster ride of experiences. How was difficult to find steady ground in the world at large. We are looking now at what we are perhaps reliving since the early of 1940s, and needing to see something with fresh eyes, where we are needing to up-level our values and our collective understandings of what we share together on this planet, including the planet itself. Taurus is an earth sign, earth elements. This also brings about the energies of Gaia. There's been a lot of disruptive energies pulsing through the planet, with hundreds of earthquakes occurring on unusual places, and the same happening with the volcanic eruptions, etc. Jupiter and Uranus together in Taurus also speak about the natural resources of the planet. There's been sudden amplifications not only in the financial markets, but also within the resources of Earth. Big losses and gains, huge fluctuations through cryptocurrency, the stock markets, gold and cash. How our food has been evolving since 1940s. The new things that were brought to markets, the new influences of plant-based foods, but also the artificial ingredients that are replacing natural food and sustenance. The next time these two planets conjunct will be on 2037 in Cancer. The first water element sign of the zodiac. Uranus has been already dismantling a comfort zone of some sorts. A very volatile and disruptive planet, Uranus, symbolizing technology, science, and innovation, wants to accelerate change, although Taurus energy wants to resist that change. Taurus is a fixed sign, because we can think like we have three modalities of the signs. We have the cardinal signs, the ones that initiates the seasons, the spring, the summer, the autumn, and the winter. The spring is Aries, the summer is Cancer, the autumn is Libra, and the winter is Capricorn. They are the cardinal signs, this modality. Then we have the fixed signs, the ones that are between the seasons, and they sustain the elements which they speak about. Taurus, it's a earth fixed sign between spring and summer. Leo, it's a fire fixed sign between the summer and autumn. Then we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Oh no, sorry. Virgo. Fixo. Sagitário. Não é fixo. No, sorry. Then we have Scorpio, which is water in fixed sign between autumn and winter. Then in last we have Aquarius, which is between the winter and the spring. that is the hair and fixed sign. And then at last we have the mutable signs, the ones that make the changes of the season. So we have Gemini, it's a hair mutable sign. Then we have Virgo, earth mutable sign, Sagittarius, fire mutable sign, and Pisces, water mutable sign. And Taurus, being a fixed sign, represents our preferred comforts. It speaks about our material stuff in life, our body, our possessions, as well as what we most aim in our lives. It's where we have sustainability and stability. And with this transit moving through, with Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, they've been forcing us, especially with Uranus archetype, to redefine our values in our material possessions. And they are asking about what is truly valuable for you. What are truly your priorities? The breaking of patterns and structures, representing the urge for freedom, individuality, and progress, driving us to embrace new ideas and ways of living that can lead to a more liberated and enlightened future. Challenges to question the status quo, to envision a radical transformation that can propel us forward into new realms of possibility. Teaching us about new models of life, questioning us about our own authority when it comes to what we understand as quality of life, valuing simplicity in our basic needs. And we can question ourselves about what are the values of society. This has been so important in the last, especially 2 years. What models have been given to us since generations? And this theme about generations is very important to reflect about as well, because things are always changing, and when we keep sustaining ourselves with old models that the oldest generations have been given to us, we may find ourselves that we can see in the present as society what has been happening, especially in the nature and all of these manifestations about these old models of these previous generations. This is a very important theme to reflect about. What can we change? What new values can we bring to the society? What each individual really value in each lives, and what each of us can contribute to the society. And I will, in the last part of the video, I will share a Charles Chaplin speech, which I will just share short parts here, that says, "We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violence and all will be lost. The lights needing to break through things we've been needing to break. And that might have been hard too with Taurus fixed energy that so much enjoys the comforts of the material things, for example. It can also speak about foundational beliefs, our states of consciousness, financial work, household situations, our hearts related, our relationship with self-esteem, belief systems, etc., perspectives as well, etc. And ask to leap into new, more authentic versions of ourselves and our lives, innovations, and freedom. To detach particularly from these foundational things and go into something more evolved. These transits of Jupiter and Uranus asking us, giving us this awareness, this opportunity. Not opportunity, we've been actually been forcing to make these changes. There's no other way. Jupiter is an expansive planet. It has been amplifying the Uranus Catholic and disruptive energy. But Uranus, on a more higher perspective, wants to bring changes that bring real stability and more evolved, bringing progress at a level above our experiences. We are an integral part of the change that we desire to experience. We are the active agents, consciously collaborating to improve our own values. And while Jupiter was conjunct Uranus in Taurus, both with this conjunction in Taurus were sextiling positive aspects. Mars conjuncting the Saturn in Pisces. So we had two aspects, Jupiter with Uranus in Taurus and Mars with Saturn in Pisces, both these transits aspecting with a sextile. And it was like, it was like Mars and Saturn in Pisces were saying, yes, let that go. And now that you can let that go, recommit. Let us help you detach from what's breaking and have faith in committing and being disciplined from where your soul really wants to go. Pisces can bring us a lot of healing in our journey, as well as compassion, empathy, deeply soul-bond relationships, inspiration, things that fill up our soul. How can we co-create a better future? How can we bump on this more positive timeline? It can open up some powerful insights and opportunities for what we are here to create that can be widely different, even out of our own experiences, meant to take us out of what is traditional, what is status quo, into some new fields of opportunity and advancement. Both Jupiter and Uranus, I'm struggling today. It's not have been so easy. Okay, let's go. Both Jupiter and Uranus, they are future oriented, and Taurus speaks about self-worth, on how we are capable to create and build something we love. An energy putting us on a path that our future self already embodies, moving us through new experiences that weren't open or possible before. This is very interesting, during Jupiter conjunction to Uranus in Taurus, Venus, the ruling planet of Taurus, was in Aries at 19 degrees. This is the degree points of the solar eclipse, of the total solar eclipse in Aries on 8th of April, 90 degrees of Aries. Excuse me. And Venus at 90 degrees of Aries conjuncting Chíron during Jupiter and Uranus conjunction in Taurus, activating even more of those energetics of that eclipse, showing us where we are ready to move forward towards a new start in our lives. Chíron keeps playing a big role, showing what we've been holding, that we are healing and moving through, where the wounded warrior is tired and wants to soften up. Mars was, during this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction in Taurus, was between Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Mars understanding that maybe he hasn't been fully integrating all of his spiritual self, these masculine energies that all of us have. The energy of action is intuition and emotions, moving between Saturn and Neptune, that wanted to make sure that Mars integrated these spiritual lessons, has more about its intuition and emotion side. Because Pisces is a feminine sign, this integration of the more emotional and nurturing energies will be very prevalent over the next years, because we will have a lot of very important transits in water elements. And yeah, this will be themes for the next videos. April has unfolded big energies, questioning us about how do we deal with changes? How can we be adaptable, open, flexible? How can we be calm, quieting the mind, reducing anxiety, worries, fears, in order to feel the power of our creative life force, so that we keep understanding more of who we truly are, of our outs of societal models, how we want to live our lives in sync and alignments with our own values, as well as what matters to each future selves. What are we vibrating? Jupiter questions about. What do we need to let go in this new journey of changes, innovation, and expansion? Things will start to feel more ease and gain more momentum from now on, from the middle of May. We already have a beautiful alignments with masculine and feminine energies, because Mars is now in Aries. Mars rules Aries, the masculine archetype, action, initiating, changes. And Venus is now in Taurus. Venus rules Taurus, this feminine archetype, what we feel, what we value, what we desire. So we have both archetypes, polar and complementary, in a very beautiful alignment with their own signs. So it's a very good energy, despite of we are still completing these energies, especially since February, March, and particularly in from April, when we had this Aries solar total eclipse that brought us so much deep and profound messages. And that's why I really wanted to share these contents with you guys. So maybe if you've been struggling since those times, maybe with these contents, you can understand better of what has been happening in the energetics and how to value more what each of us has now, so that we can as well plan better for our future. Astrology gives us these gifts to understand more about the energies, about what the universe, and especially our solar system, the energies that surround our earth, our planets, how we can better have navigate in our journey. It's such a special gift, astrology. I really love it. I will never let it go. When we feel aligned to something, despite of having obstacles, we need to hold on what we really do value and reflect about what are not so much in alignment with ourselves, what is real to each one of us. Okay, I will keep sharing more content in the next videos. I hope this finds you well, and thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate. Only the unloved hate. The unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery. Fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power. But they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!